Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the Dan Talk podcast. I'm Jordan Bird, of course, your host. Today, I have my good friend Jake McAnally as my co-host today. Jake, how are you doing today, man?
I'm all right. Uh, having a great weekend, hoping to propel myself into this new week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, of course. Great to hear. So, guys, we hope you had a great week as well. And thank you for joining us today on our Sunday podcast and everything. So, we got three big topics, really two big ones, and then it's kind of a fun one to have our little hot take and whatnot. So let's go with our first topic of the day, which is Doctor Strange 2 has officially wrapped production. Kevin
Let's
Feige,
go.
yeah. So Kevin Feige confirmed this as of Friday. So this is the only news I've heard, just besides Wanda being added officially to the cast and whatnot with Elizabeth Olsen and everything. And I mean, from just the sheer fact that the stories that we've heard with Sam Raimi directing and the route that they're going with, and just how bonkers everything is going to be, this movie just seems to excite me even more and more every time I hear any kind of snippet of news and whatnot. Jake, you heard the announcement of the production of the wrap and everything. So how do you feel about it, man? Talk about it. I know Doctor Strange, you said, was one of your favorite movies, and he's one of your favorite characters.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Whether it's just the acting by Benedict Cumberbatch or just like the visual imagery and all the ways that they blow your mind on the screen. And now I'm excited, and I think like he definitely needed that second film to pick up where we left off in the first one. And I have high expectations, but it seems like every time uh like all the uh what do you call them, all the directors seem to come through and pull through for us. So
Yeah.
I know they'll knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And I mean, just the sheer fact that, WandaVision, the roller coaster we went with that, and how Wanda
Mhm.
was basically ripping time and space and reality apart and putting it back together the way she wants it and whatnot. Like, and how a lot of people are speculating she's going to be somewhat of an antagonist to Doctor Strange in some shape, form, or fashion. But of course, you know, she has to be a good person at the end of Doctor Strange and helping him fix the whole thing and whatnot. And then the whole talk about him visiting different time periods. Apparently, there's speculations of him going to visit the Wolverine Logan from in the Logan movie side of universe of Fox and everything, visiting that time period somehow in some shape, form, or fashion. And then, of course, somehow possibly seeing Tobey Maguire's New York City with his Spider-Man and whatnot. And maybe that's how we get Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man No Way Home and
Uh-oh.
everything.
I'm
I know.
excited. I love the
Yeah.
speculation.
Yes. And then, of course, we have Baron Mordo coming back as well. And then Wong, too, helping out. And then what's really got me most excited is to really see a very comic book accurate Doctor Strange costume. Now, don't get me wrong. I think his costume is probably one of the better accurate of all the MCU characters so far, besides adapting the Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, et cetera, et cetera. Honestly, like if you were to put Doctor Strange's costume with Benedict Cumberbatch in real life and then put him beside a comic book, I think they did a pretty good job updating it and making it more a realistic thing. But apparently, they're going with the old school comic book where his cape or the cloak, the levitation has the pointy sides coming up. You hit the yellow gloves that he usually wears in the comic books and everything. So, I'm just super ecstatic. And then, of course, as of Friday, a leaked set photo got put out of a little town in England where they're filming the movie, and it seems to be kind of like the setting how where Wanda was at the end of WandaVision, just kind of out in the open of the countryside and whatnot. And apparently the twin boys, uh, Wicked and Speed, were spotted on set. So confirmed that we may have the twins back, and Wanda somehow gets maybe her family back together, even though it's not really the same group or the same people in what she had built in what is it, Westview? Yeah, Westview
Yeah.
and everything. So yeah, guys, let us know down in the comments, what do you think about Doctor Strange 2 wrapping its production and everything? Are you excited? What are your expectations for it? Drop down in the comment and let us know. All right, let's move on to topic number 2. And topic number 2 is Alfred Molina had confirmed himself to be returning back as Doc Ock in Spider-Man No Way Home. Man, Jake, I'm gonna be honest with you. Spider-Man 2, we've had this discussion before. I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. I love how the movie. Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the best superhero movies you could probably ever make.
Yes.
In all honesty, the storyline, the characters, everything. Alfred Molina nailed Dr. Octavius and Doc Ock. Like nailed it.
You could say that he's probably the best, one of the best villains, definitely out of any Spider-Man movie, but definitely in this whole realm. If you count it, like, I don't know, the whole Sony to Marvel Studios, but in the whole grand scheme of things, he's probably one of the best villains we have.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I mean, just the sheer fact that we're even getting the opportunity to even see multiverse crossing of both of these franchises and everything, just blows my mind, and it just makes me super excited. I remember going and seeing Spider-Man 1 and back in 2002 when I was 6, if I'm doing the math right in my head and everything. And oh my gosh, like I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I wanted to be just like Spider-Man growing up and everything. And then Spider-Man 2 comes out, mouth drooling, like just action and everything, great and whatnot. But one thing Alfred Molina did talk about when he was confirming this with Variety, or it was Hollywood Reporter, one of the big news traders for the movies and everything he was talking to, said that basically his character pops back up in No Way Home is from the end of Spider-Man 2, where he's drowning down into the ocean or the river with his experiment and everything that he was trying to do, but he had to come to revelation of being a good guy and everything. And Spider-Man No Way Home picks up right then and there. He said he talked to John Watt and everything, and he says, this is it. Nobody really dies in the MCU, which, give or take, some Marvel fans kind of hate the whole one-hit wonder with the villains and everything. They've gotten a lot better about keeping some villains like Zemo, for example. I'm glad they kept him around because they really developed him in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, by the way, guys, I'm loving Jake's background of the fake cap. And then, what's the old man's name from Up? It's been so long since I've seen it. I can't remember, but everybody keeps comparing these two characters together.
We want all your new cap slander in the chat. Just give it your best. We want to hear all things bad about them.
Because Lord have mercy, after episode 5, man, like I could not dislike a character even more than I do John Walker's take on Captain America.
I just hated his face right as they showed who he was at the start. And it's progressively gotten worse and worse.
Well, it's also another thing too, Jake, is that every time they do like a still release on like social media or anything like that, each picture that's just of his character, like he's different looking in every single one. Like, for example, your background, first picture that they showed of him, and like clean cut shaved, and then the next one where he's working with his partner Lamar and has a somewhat 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, cool. And then fast forward to episode 4, looks different. And then episode 5 looks different again. And like, I'm just like, dude, be consistent, look the same, be like Captain Rogers. Come on, man.
That might be the point. Because there's almost
this
like
is
this.
True.
This is like I'd hate to compare it to something, but the kid from The Incredibles that wanted to be like Mr. Incredible, or and he just gets blown off. Nobody likes him, and so after a while he becomes this villain.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm getting this. He's like developing into like a dirtier, like angrier person. And I
That's a
guess it's
good.
just
That's a
showing the
very good
change.
comparison, Jake. That's a very good. I didn't even think about that. I completely forgot. No, don't get me wrong. I love the Incredibles, and I know
Yeah.
the villain and everything. But that's a good comparison. In all honesty, yeah.
All
But
these villains have a beginning, and it
yeah,
usually comes from these chaotic Marvel uh
craziness.
superheroes. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the whole Doc Ock, Alfred Molina thing. Sorry to kind of get off topic. We'll go into that in the next little segment here. But Alfred Molina also talked about how they're going to use the de-aging thing technology like they did with Robert Downey Jr. and Hank Pym and whatnot to de-age him by like 17 years. Because you got to think that movie came out 17 years ago, and Alfred Molina does not look the same. He's gotten a little, thicker and wrinkles and everything. So he says really the star of his character is really the mechanical arms and how they're using them in the sequences and the action and whatnot. So he said the fans will definitely be enjoying his take again on Doc Ock with some new innovations along with it too, some new things and whatnot. Which by all means, you got to think like technology now
Oh
and
yeah.
filming a movie with CGI and everything. Like
Our minds were blown when that movie
exactly,
came out
yeah,
with all the arms. This is going to be insane.
yeah. So, but like just the sheer confirm that he's coming back, and then of course no word yet from Jamie Foxx, but even though last year he leaked he was going to be in the movie and everything and whatnot, like it's just building up to be one of the big things in which I think they're kind of doing the same thing, like picking Electro from where possibly he came from, where he ended in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and whatnot. Maybe that explosion of him dying and whatnot, maybe put him through the multiverse or somehow. But then also picking Andrew Garfield's first Spider-Man suit from that time period of uh, that series and whatnot. So, like I said, they're just picking little things from different Spider-Man universes and like kind of all throw them together, which I can't wait. Hopefully one day we'll get like an actual live action, Spider-Verse where you have at least like maybe 20 different kind of Spider-Man, kind of like the cartoon
Sheesh.
movies are doing.
Yeah.
So,
That's what it
but
that would be dope.
yeah.
Very dope.
So, but guys, let us know down in the comments. How do you feel about Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock, officially coming out and saying it now? RIP to my man, because Kevin Feige may be coming after him with a bat after leaking such big secrets about the whole movie. Because we haven't gotten any kind of plot or about the movie whatsoever, just besides Spider-Man clearing his identity name and whatnot. That's about it. Other than that, we had no idea how this was gonna play into the multiverse and whatnot. But let us know down in the comments what you think about the whole news of Alfred Molina. All right, so let's move on to topic number 3, and let's talk about the Falcon and Winter Soldier and the John Walker character. And we already kind of talked about right before in the last segment that John Walker is a very interesting character, and I kind of like the way they're going with it because it's starting to get more to the U.S. agent kind of side, the darker Captain America in that sense, where he does not care what he does. And I mean, just the opening act of episode 5. I mean, Jake, dude, where him, Bucky, and Sam just go at it, and you could tell he's losing his mind in some shape, form, or fashion when he's screaming, "I'm Captain America!" Like,
Yeah.
dude, Steve Rogers never did that. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
I
Not
am
once did he
Steve
ever call
Rogers.
himself. Yeah. Not once did he ever say I'm Captain America by any means. So, I mean, just Jake, how do you feel about it? I know you weren't really too particular fond of the series up until probably what episode 4, where it really started to pick up for and
Yeah.
everything.
And I mean, it's probably like slightly later than I would have hoped. Like I was hoping episode 3 would have been like a little better, but I mean it's definitely picked up. But in terms of his character, I just think that he's almost intentionally hateable. Like
Yeah.
And you have to dislike this character, but it comes from having like 10 years of just one Captain America, clean
Yeah.
cut, well spoken, just almost perfect,
Yeah.
sort of, kind of,
Yeah.
depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the character, but you know, it's on purpose. So maybe it's just my personal bias, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I know plenty of people that kind of feel the same way about it too. Like I had another friend tell me that she wasn't really into or buying into the whole Falcon and Winter Soldier thing just because of how slow paced it was. But and she was kind of comparing it to WandaVision, which I've been telling you and her and all these other people too, is like you you can't really compare the two to one another because they're just so different and different characters and different storytelling. But in the sense, like I kind of get where y'all are saying, it's like you wanted it to be almost the same intriguing way to draw you in. And it hit film and TV shows and whatnot, all hit everybody differently. It's all subjective. So by all means, but like I agree with you. The character of John Walker is very trying to think of the word. I won't say reckless, but almost mad in the sense of how he's acting towards, the whole role. I mean, for example, Steve Rogers was a good man, not a perfect soldier until he got the serum. And then all it did was just amplify everything good in him to where John Walker was a perfect soldier, not necessarily a good man. And we kind of got a little hint of that in episode 5 with some flashbacks and the opening scene with him, Sam, and Bucky and whatnot. So, but this character, I mean, people can hate on him. Like, in all honesty, he's probably one of the better elements of the TV show, to be honest with you. Like, just how his
Yeah.
character is and developing and whatnot, and the storytelling and everything. So, but guys, let us know down in the comments. How do you feel about John Walker and everything? How do you feel about episode 5? Are you excited for episode 6? Like, if you saw the end credit scene of episode 5, it's about to be absolutely crazy and whatnot
Mm-hmm.
against John Walker and the Falcon, Sam, and everything. So let us know down in the comments. All right. So now let's move on to this little extra thing that kind of picks up our choice of movies and everything. So the other day I was on Twitter and I found this picture, and this picture had 9 movies on there. You had 1 row, 2 row, and 3 row. Okay.
We'll
The
put it up
picture
on the
was,
screen.
yeah, I'll put it up on the screen and whatnot. I'm just kind of describing it right now and trying to give y'all the instance of what it, and then the top of it saying you have to pick 1 movie out of each row to watch, and the rest of them get deleted off the face of the earth. So basically, so row 1, for example, is Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Okay. Second row is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Spider-Man: No Way Home. And the third row is Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, and Ant-Man Quantumanium. Okay. So Jake, I sent this to you a couple days ago, and you kind of gave a little hot take on each row that you would pick the movie for. I want to hear what you have to say, man.
I've thought about it. I've let it marinate in my mind about how hot this take is going to be. So when I thought about the first row, uh, I mean, I'm going to enjoy Black Widow, but it's not something I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
out of the 3. Uh, and then Shang-Chi, I honestly have no idea what to expect from that. Can you give me a rundown?
I mean, basically, he's just a kung fu master. That's all I can really say. He's a really
So
good kung fu person.
this is a new
It,
character,
this is
like
a new
new main
character, the
character.
MCU. His characters
Okay.
have been around in the comic books
Oh
for
yeah.
since the 70s and everything, but like he's kind of a low key kind of character. Like he really doesn't have much powers, just probably in the sense he's almost like a super soldier, but he doesn't have any like powers or has taken a serum or anything. He just trains. So
Okay.
yeah,
So all right. So hopefully it's better than like Kung Fu Panda, but I'm not looking forward to it either. I'm looking forward to Eternals. I looked at the cast, and it's low key a very stacked lineup.
Oh,
Like
Marvel definitely did their homework casting in the Eternals and everything.
I'm looking at it. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, Richard Madden, he was
Hmm.
one of the sons. And then if you're a fan of Atlanta, Brian Tyree Henry,
Yep.
he's gonna be great. He's really
Yeah.
good in his role. And then Angelina Jolie,
Of
like,
course.
come on, the
Bay.
goat. She's one of, yeah, Bay. But yeah, just looking at the cast, it's going to be nuts. So
Oh yeah, no
yeah.
doubt.
What are you going with for the first lineup?
Man, don't get me wrong. Like, just the sheer fact that we haven't had a Marvel movie in almost 2 years kind of breaks my heart. And like Black Widow, like I've been looking forward to it just because of the sheer fact of like how they're kind of going in back in time a little bit between Captain America Civil War and then Infinity War with the storyline of Widow. And of course, introducing Taskmaster, which I mean, he's an absolute monster when it comes to being a villain and whatnot, just because he can copy anything any hero can do or villain can do in that sense. So he's kind of like an anti-hero in that sense, but I guess the way they're doing it for the Black Widow movie, he's straight up just a villain. So, but that movie has definitely been on my mindset to really be interesting for me to go watch and see. And then of course Shang-Chi. I've read a couple of the comic books of Shang-Chi. It's a very good storyline, a good character development and whatnot. Same thing. Really interested to see. We haven't really gotten much of a plot detail from either Black Widow or Shang-Chi. So, Shang-Chi is probably going to be on the totem pole on this row, to be honest with you. But then Eternals, like you said, the cast and everything, and then some of the plot details. The movie takes place over thousands of years. So yeah, and it deals with space and Earth at the same time and
Mm.
whatnot. And you're getting characters like the Black Knight and everything coming back in present day instead of back in the um, medieval times and whatnot. And just the sheer fact, like I'm just interested to see because basically the Eternals are like the Avengers of uh the cosmic side and the God side of the MCU or Marvel Comics, and what I'm referencing to. So, and yeah, no, the
That
cast for
sound
sure.
that sounds almost like a parody off of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Yeah,
of
and some,
spanning over thousands of years. Some
yeah,
some of the greatest people we've ever known.
yeah.
You know,
So, but yeah, in all honesty, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go with the Eternals like you are on first row, just to be honest with you. Just
not to
because
say
that.
that we won't want to see the other movies
Oh,
be
by all
great.
means, I'm going to see Black Widow in theaters.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
no doubt about that.
I'm
Even
not
after
saying
even
that.
after have even after I have to wear a hazmat suit,
Oh
I will
yeah.
go.
I'll bring the
So
fumigate.
bet. There we go. So all right. So that's our hot take on the first row. Second row, we're gonna go with it's kind of it's
It's a
heated.
tough one.
It
Yeah.
really is. And I agree with you, Jake. So of course the second row we have Doctor Strange Multiverse of Badness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Jake, dude,
Mm.
it's hard. It's really
This
hard.
is this is like
If
picking a favorite child.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Man, dude, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I gotta put Thor at the bottom.
yeah.
I hate to say
Um,
that just because I love Taika Waititi and what he's done with the character and what Chris Hemsworth has done too. But
yeah. I
it's just
mean,
the sheer fact of the craziness that's coming out of Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange too.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to pick. Like, it's just so hard. Like, I love both these characters. Like, Doctor Strange is definitely my top five characters of the MCU. And then Spider-Man, of course, is as well. And I love the iteration that we've gotten with Tom Holland in the MCU and
Definitely.
everything. So,
For
man,
me,
it is
like
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
with Thor, if if they had that version that I don't know how to say his name created of Thor, like the more lighthearted, funny version rather
Oh yeah,
than
Tiger Waititi.
uh, yeah, I
Yeah,
can't say that. That's a mouthful. But like we had three movies and they didn't figure it out until
the third one.
the third one. So like
Yeah,
I might be more excited uh if we had that character longer and
yeah,
we enjoyed it more, but like nobody was watching Dark World.
yeah.
Like
No,
we like
it's
that
actually
kind of
funny. I had a student at this band clinic that I went to, and some of my students came along with me. And some of my students know I'm a big Marvel fan because on my background on my computer, I have the anniversary picture of everybody that's ever been involved with the movie: actor, writer, composer, and director. And then, of course, Kevin Feige and Stan Lee. And of course, they asked me, Mr. Burt, what's your least favorite Marvel movie? And I
hmm.
tell them right there, I don't even hesitate. I said Thor: The Dark World. They're like, oh my gosh, we same. Why don't you like it? And I tell them so. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like if Tiger Waititi was to be back and had done Thor 1 or Thor 2 and caught it in time to pick up the anticipation and excitement, I definitely probably would have feel different about Thor Love and Thunder. No, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for it and
Yeah.
everything and what's going on and all the set photos, especially Natalie Portman being looking like the
Oh
Rock
yeah.
walking around and everything and whatnot. So
I like Thor's character. I think
yeah,
the action is phenomenal. It's just
yes.
the character was bland
I'm
the
just a
whole
little
time.
upset at the fact that we won't have Bro Thor in this one. He gets back Jack, which it's okay. I'm okay with it, but it's just the sheer fact that I like Bro Thor. Like Bro Thor, I was like, hey, that guy kind of looks like me. I can be like Bro Thor and everything. So, but
True.
yeah, Jake. Man, dude,
You want
I'm
me to
probably
go
gonna I'm gonna
first?
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you have time just in case you have any second thoughts. Uh, but I'm gonna have to go with Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I just think with this only being like the second movie, and he's not like had the biggest role out of some of the major characters, and so
Yeah,
now it's like finally his time. And the plot of his movie is so important to tie in the old to the new,
yeah.
and so I mean he's already one of my favorite characters. Uh, so I'm probably just a little bit biased, but I think the movie is going to be great. So that's my pick.
And I'm gonna have to go with you on that, man. And I agree with you. Like I hate,
What?
yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong. I love Spider-Man. I do. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. Him and Iron Man, like neck and neck right here. But like just the sheer fact that it's because of him that we're getting the Spider-Man No Way Home and what's happening with
Yes.
WandaVision and everything. Like he plays a very vital role, especially now that we have Cap gone, uh, Thor somewhat gone, doing his own thing, and then Iron Man gone too. And not really sure what we're gonna do with Black Widow or not Black Widow, Black Panther and everything, because he was supposed to be one of the leaders of the new Avengers, basically. So now you just have him and Captain Marvel kind of take the roles of Iron Man and Captain America, basically, and everything. But yeah, no, like just the sheer craziness of Multiverse of Madness. Like, I think that's gonna be my pick, to be honest with you. And I hate to say that,
That was
but
surprising, y'all. I
yeah,
am very surprised. I thought he was going
hot
to be
take.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homer.
Oh yeah,
All right.
but yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So all right, line three, row three, we got Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, and Ant-Man Quantumania. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jake. Like we
It's
have
not the
no
most
idea.
exciting list.
It's not. And I hate to say that, but it's just the
Yeah.
sheer fact that we have no idea what they're going to do with Black Panther 2, especially when they Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace,
R.I.P.
is no
Respectfully.
longer with us. And of course, how we're all everybody asked the question, how are they going to continue telling the story and everything? And of course, there's been a rumor going around that Regine Jean uh is supposed to be I forgot his last name. It just walked my mind. I just saw it. Give me 1 second. Regine Jean
Page.
Page. Yeah. Phenomenal actor. I've seen him in a couple shows that he's done on TV and everything. Good actor. I think he could fill the role and take the spot of Chadwick Boseman and play Black Panther, T'Challa, and everything. But it's just the sheer fact that nobody has confirmed this, and it's just speculations. And Kevin Feige came out last November to whenever they did the D23 announcement of all the shows that they're doing, all the movies that they're doing in this next couple of years, that they are not recasting Black Panther. Some people don't like the idea. I get why, because you want to preserve the legacy that Chadwick had created with Black Panther. But in the sense that when you beforehand that you said that he will be one of the leaders of the Avengers after Endgame, you know, how are you going to do it? Who's going to play that character? You said you're not using CGI or anything. So, I mean, it's a really hard decision, and I'm saying it's not by any means, but in my opinion, I say recast and put an actor that's on the same caliber or has the same not exact, but same energy into putting it into the character like Chadwick did with this role. And then, of course, Captain Marvel 2 up in the air. I don't even think they have a writer yet, to be honest with you.
Good.
Don't
take make it
Jake McNally again.
That's not a hot take. That's very cold, freezing. Yeah. In fact,
and no then hate. Yeah, just besides, I know we're getting Monica Rambeau back from WandaVision into Captain Marvel 2. Don't know how she's going to play into that and what the storyline is. All I know is that it takes place in today's time. Well, nothing else has been said. I mean, yeah,
I like the character. I'm glad that she was vital in WandaVision. So it might make it a little bit more interesting. Don't get me wrong. Like I've said before, the second half of the movie wasn't as bad as the first. I'm not going to say it was good, but it was more interesting.
Oh yeah.
But in terms of the Black Panther, I would have probably been more excited, factoring in that the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Maybe if they I know that they have the legacy of passing on to like a king cycle. But I would have liked to see Yuri take over.
Oh, Shuri? Yeah.
Shuri, my bad.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're good.
Take over because she has all the she's so smart and technology and stuff. And I think it would have just been cool, in my mind at least, to have a very strong, very strong Black female character that also ties in and is already set up for great success. She made all the equipment for Black Panther, all the innovative stuff. So I thought it would have been cool, but I guess they.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue on. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess kind of dug themselves a hole, just getting ahead, saying that Black Panther would be one of the new leaders of the new Avengers, and so it's kind of hard to dodge that when you've already put that in the air. So,
but that's also the fact that Chadwick Boseman didn't tell nobody that he was fighting colon cancer for 4 years, basically. I mean, he did Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame, and another movie that wasn't a Marvel movie, and was going through chemo for the past 4 years. Nobody knew. He didn't tell anybody. He kept it very personal. So in the sense of when it happened, everybody was shocked, even people at Marvel. You would think he would have told Kevin Feige about it. Kevin Feige said he did not have any idea. So, but I kind of like the idea too that Shuri takes over the Black Panther role. I mean, she can, by all means. She's a wonderful actor or actress and everything, and I think she could handle the whole role as, I won't say ruler of Wakanda, but kind of the warrior of Wakanda and whatnot. But that's all up in the air. And then of course, Captain Marvel, the scrolls are going to be in it some shape, form, or fashion, just because we're getting Secret Invasions with the Disney Plus series with Samuel L. Jackson and dude that played Talos. I can't remember his name, but of course they're coming back in the series and whatnot. So maybe that Captain Marvel 2 ties into Secret Invasions and whatnot, could go back and forth. But then the third option also is Ant-Man Quantumania, which deals with the quantum realm again, with Kane the Conqueror coming into fruition in the MCU finally. And I think we'll kind of get a snippet of him in Loki, in all honesty, because the Loki series deals with him traveling to different parts of the universe during different times and alternate universes too. So, but Jake, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go with Ant-Man Quantumania.
I hate that we surprisingly have all the same takes, but I loved Ant-Man. I
Yeah.
think it's very lighthearted, that sense of like comedic relief. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp was just hysterical.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, granted, I don't think the loss of Ti will really have any effect on how I feel about those like side characters, because
Yeah.
they're all funny in themselves. They can find somebody to replace his role.
Oh yeah, no
So,
doubt. But even then, I say even
yeah.
give them the side characters besides Luis, because Luis, I'm gonna be honest with you, Luis helped make Ant-Man and the Wasp as funny as
Definitely.
it is, and maybe make his character more important than the other two and whatnot. But yeah, no, I love Paul Rudd. Like,
Yeah,
very comedic, very genius. Of course, he's like co-writing with Peyton Reed for the movie and everything. So like, and just the sheer fact that they said Kane the Conqueror will be the villain of it. Like, maybe this is how we get introduced to the Fantastic Four. Because Peyton Reed said he wanted to do a movie, the Fantastic Four movie, and pitched it to Kevin Feige. But then, of course, it ultimately went to John Watts, the director of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man MCU Spider-Man. Let me be more specific. And of course, maybe Peyton Reed and John Watts are very good friends and whatnot. So maybe he'll help out with John Watts, kind of develop the movie and everything. Just besides, they haven't had a writer, they haven't had any kind of production with the Fantastic Four or whatnot. But all they have announced was John Watts will direct it. So, and it will come out in like 2025, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And hopefully it's not as bad as these other versions that we've gotten so far.
Woo chow.
Yeah, hot take with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the first iteration of the Fantastic Four was cool and everything, but then you have this 2015 version with Miles Teller, and it was not good.
We all thought it was a good idea, but we can all agree that it could have been a little bit better.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No doubt about that. And so all right. So guys, let us know down in the comments. Like, I want to hear y'all's take on this. And I'll even post this on my Instagram page to see what y'all are thinking and whatnot. So of course, me and Jake, we have the Eternals on the first row, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness on the second row, and then Ant-Man Quantumania for the third row. So let us know if you agree with how we're picking these. I mean, in all honesty, the second row was the hardest out of all of them, to be honest with you. And like I said, I'm a big Spider-Man person, but just the sheer fact that Doctor Strange is becoming increasingly more and more pivotal in the sense of the MCU. Like, I just think that his movie would basically set up everything that's going to happen with the future of the MCU. So, well, guys, that will do it for our podcast episode today. Jake, I appreciate you joining me today and everything. So, guys,
follow the social medias. We're on Instagram, Damn Talk Podcast. Is there a Facebook page?
There is a Facebook page. Yes.
Is it a group?
It is not a group. It's
an
actual Facebook page.
We might need to make a group so we can all talk. and have our
they're
own
like
discussion.
they could actually post on the page and everything on the wall and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, so guys,
Well,
I post the link to each video every week. So like I said, I want to get y'all more interacted into us and whatnot, and helping us pick our topics and engage and whatnot. So
we
all right,
want to
guys.
know what you think.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like we're just as big as fans as anybody else in this community and whatnot of Marvel. So, all right, guys. Well, that'll do it for today. Take care and bye bye.